Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I am Sir Worldwide. And today we're going to talk about history because, we got governors and mayors and educators who don't want us to talk about black history especially. That's so sad. But we're going to talk about the history of Memorial Day. It was actually taken away from the black man. Mr. Asel Troutman here, he's going to tell you all about that. You need to know what's going on. So I'm inviting this distinguished gentleman here to give you an education that you need. Asel, take over, brother.
Hey, how you doing, brother? I hope this phone works. African American contributions to Memorial Day. I want to read this to you, and then I want to explain to you what I grew up until I was 13 and came to college country. I was born in Louisville. I grew up in Providence, starting in the second grade, and I left there when I was 13 and come to LA. African American contributions to Memorial Day. It's in the Congress. It's in the library. Louisiana furnished 24,000 black men to help put down the revolution.
Speaking of
Rebellion. You talk about strewing flowers on the graves of our departed comrades. We used to do that every Thursday night. Who are the ones that do it down south? But the black people. We had parades. It was a black parade in the black neighborhood. Didn't even go into the white neighborhoods. I never saw a white person celebrate. Comrade Boer of Louisiana speaking before a national gathering of the Grand Army of the Republic in 1907. The Constitution that governed us was sustained by the sword and bayonet. The black soldier played an important part, and as an evidence of their valor, look at yonder graves. This is like at a graveyard, a black graveyard. You had veterans from World War I, my great uncle. You had veterans from World War II and Korea. My uncle, he's buried out here in Inglewood Cemetery. The black soldier played an important part, and as an evidence of their valor, look at the grave. The origins of Memorial Day. At the April 1901 dedication of the General John A. Logan Memorial, which is in Maryland, speakers like President William McKinley and New York Senator Chauncey Depew spoke at the nation's debt to General Logan for his General Order Number 11, which in 1868, that's 3 years after the Civil War, formalized the annual floral decoration of the graves on Memorial Day. And that's what we did. We visited all the graves in the black neighborhoods, cleaned them up, put flowers on them. We even had a parade in the black neighborhood. We even had a baseball game in the black neighborhood. The people that grew up there at Rosenwald High School, look that up. The schools in the South that the vice president of Sears Roebuck, it's in almost every state in the South, and that was the way the blacks got educated in the South. They went to Rosenwald High School. You can look that up. Okay, I'm going to read this over again. Senator Chauncey Depew spoke at the nation's debt to General Logan at the General Order Number 11, which in 1868 formalized the annual floral presentation of the graves on Memorial Day, and also reference to the Decoration Day, while there is a historical debate over where and when the very first observation of Memorial Day took place. One of the earliest recorded observations of the holiday indisputably took place in Charleston, South Carolina in the closing days of the Civil War. On 1 May 1865, the free people of Charleston gathered at the old racetrack to dedicate the graves of 257 Union prisoners of war who had been hastily buried by the retreating Confederate Army. The largely African-American crowd watched the men of the 35th and 104th United States Colored Troops, USCT, along with the men of the famed 54th Massachusetts Infantry Regiment, perform drills before listening to speeches addressing the meaning of the long and bloody war. When the ceremonies were finished, the crowd dispersed to lay flowers on the graves of the men who had died fighting for the Union and for liberty. For the Union, not for the Confederacy, for the Union. I got a picture here, and I'm going to give it to you. The site of the first observance of Memorial Day, Library of Congress, LCDIG Stereo 1S01306. Look it up. African American Memorial Day observations from Reconstruction to World War I. In the decades following the Civil War, the role of African Americans in the celebration of Memorial Day remained a large one, especially in the South, which is where I'm from. Throughout the Reconstruction era, African Americans made up the vast majority of the day's observer in the South, as the dedication of Confederate graves was still policed by the occupying federal forces. After Reconstruction's end in 1877, African American orators used Memorial Day speeches to support efforts to rehabilitate the Confederate cause. In 1878, speaking before a crowd of New York Union veterans on Decoration Day, Frederick Douglass, our Frederick Douglass, proclaimed that there was a right side and a wrong side in the late war, which no sentiment ought to cause us to forget. And that's still true today. There was a right side and a wrong side in the late war, which no sentiment ought to cause us to forget. And while today we should have malice toward no one and charity toward all, it is no part of my duty to confound right with wrong or loyalty with treason. Understand that? Treason. Throughout the 1880s and well into the 1910s, African American veterans claimed a prominent position in the observation of Memorial Day, with local Black Grand Army of the Republic Post regularly leading services in D.C.'s Columbian Harmony Cemetery. When a black GAR post was placed behind a white cadet brigade at the 1898 Uniontown, Pennsylvania Memorial Day Parade, the black veterans left the procession in protest. And there was such an outrage that the next year's Memorial Day Parade, that black post marched at the head of the procession. People woke up. They woke up.
What year was that?
1898.
God.
In 1898, in the spirit of reconciliation between North and South, President McKinley opened the national cemeteries to the Confederate war dead. Until that point, they were not there, they were not invited. In the aftermath of the Spanish-American War and the First World War, Memorial Day grew to be a holiday and honored all American war dead, not just those that fell in defense of the Union. Despite the reconciliatory period mood of the country at large, many Union veterans, black and white, believe that Memorial Day should exclusively honor the Union's dead. And I still believe that.
Yes.
And I'm a veteran. Air Force.
Right. That's great.
The year prior to the dedication of General Logan's statue, the Maryland Department of the Grand Army of the Republic refused an invitation from President McKinley and Governor John F. Smith to attend the Memorial Day dedication of the Maryland State Monument on the Antietam National Battlefield. The monument was dedicated to all Marylanders present at Antietam, both Confederate and Union. And Department Commander John R. King objected to the preservation of a holiday that was a day set apart to the memory of our own dead. America's own dead. America's constitutional followers dead. Another picture. Library of Congress. LC USZ 62-13913. A hero's final celebration. Despite the marked increase in the commemoration of Memorial Day among white Southerners at the turn of the century, the role of black Civil War veterans in the observation of the holiday would persist until the final black veteran of the war passed away. Joseph Cloves, C-L-O-V-E-S-E, was born into slavery on a Louisiana plantation in January 1944. I'm sorry.
Okay.
He fled in 1862, serving as an infantryman in the 63rd United States Colored Infantry. Cloves was one of only 6 members of the GAR healthy enough to attend the organization's final reunion in 1949. In May 1951, Cloves secured his release from a Michigan Veterans Hospital to take part in the local Memorial Day Parade and 4th of July celebrations. After participating in these traditions that dated back to his days in the Army, Cloves fell into a coma on July the 9th and died 4 days later, 107 years old. The final surviving black veteran of the Civil War, Cloves was buried with full military honors and a 21-gun salute.
Thank you. Go.
And it's just interested in learning more. I mean, that's it. But there's another picture.
Okay.
I'm sorry, man.
It's all right. It's all
What
right.
got?
So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard the truth from a military veteran about the history of this Memorial Day that nobody talks about. Nobody even knows. They like to hide the truth from us. So let our young people see what this man had to say, because what he had to say was just wonderful, telling the truth about what's going on. So many things are hidden from us. It's sad. It's so sad. I mean, I'm so happy to have Asa as my friend. We've been friends for a while. We're close to the same age, but he's a great man, and he served his country. He is a hero, and for a hero to bring you the truth, you better pass it on, okay? And before I sign off, I want to show you something that you need to see. There's a hero that said something before, well, he said it when they were trying to induct him into the United States military. And he said, I ain't got no qualm with them Viet Cong. And I'm a photographer. I met the man, took his pictures, and here's one of his pictures that I'm going to be having out there for everybody to see on hoodies and shirts. I took this picture right here, and I'm very proud that I can show you this. Yes, Muhammad Ali, one of our heroes. We got so many heroes, it's ridiculous.